Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about AI regulation. Is it a dream or a delusion? So let's dive deep into it. So why do we need regulation for AI? Because well, AI is here and it's real. So it's no longer something that might happen 10 years from now or 50 years from now. It's here, it's real. So that's a very serious point. Now, many of you may be optimistic about the fact that venture capital money is kind of drying up because of inflation and some controls, regulations and stuff, tightening up the interest rate. That money is drying up now. Would that stop AI? No. Why not? Because few of the startups that actually worked based on money, based on AI technologies, they actually are profitable. Yes, majority of them are not, but many are. And those who are, how shall I put this? Yeah, they are making so much money that it is forcing everybody else to do it. So fundamentally, it cannot stop. Now, what can it do? Well, it can do things. What sort of things? Almost everything. And we are at the early stage and it's already reached that point. It can do it faster. It can do it better. What does that mean? That simply means I have heard about text to image AIs and all that long ago, like few years ago. But I never took it seriously. It wasn't really that good. It was like useless. This video's thumbnail was made out of AI and it is good. I can see it becoming good. And that happened like a few years ago. So it's not only able to do faster, better, it's also getting better day by day. Meaning I am damn sure if AI keeps working at the rate that it is, next year from now, I may no longer have to worry about making thumbnails. It would be like, just this is the thumbnail, just make it for me. It can do that. So fundamentally, not only it's here, it's faster, it's better, it's also getting better every day. So you may be competing, let's say, AI model to the best human we have, but you have to understand, it has already crossed majority of the people, meaning more than 50% of people cannot compete against it. 50%. So, and the reason why most people cannot comprehend the seriousness of it is simply because we think we have something magical to offer. We do not. We only have two things to offer, either our body and our mind. Now, body was the old days when we used to do farming, agricultural based, iron works and all that jazz. That era has passed. We are no longer selling our body. What we are selling is our puppy, this puppy, brain puppy. Now, the brain, we literally put this into silicon. Basically, we took from here and we plonked it into a CPU. So fundamentally, there is no job, let this be very clear, there is no job which we can do and AI cannot do. Fundamentally, on a fundamental law of physics level, we have crossed that threshold. Can it do it right now? Maybe, maybe not. Can it do it efficiently? Not yet. Can it do it cost effectively? Some field, yes, not every field. Now, that's today and it is getting better day by day. Pardon me. So few years from now, it would be absolute, meaning the kids who are getting through the college right now, they could reach a point where they are outside of the college, when they are, okay, let's looking for the job. They have to work for chump change, meaning they, or they have to be best of the best of the best of the best in order to stand a chance, which majority of people are not. By law of physics, you cannot be that good. It's almost like, oh, 100 people go into a, let's say, world tournament. It does not mean 100 people will win. By default, only one will win. So Tradal distribution is a brutal law of physics. It cannot be breached. So fundamentally, anything that where we offer our mind as a main crunching unit, AI can do it. Now, we are at a point where AI has switched from a can it be done to can we do it cheaply. What does that mean? That simply means if you are old enough, you must have remembered computer did not fall out of the sky, or no, alien did not give it to us. So it had a first generation where it was like, okay, can we physically build something that actually works, that does automate things, that has some true advantage? Punch card back in the old days, before electricity. Yes, we had, before electricity, we had computers. It was using in textile industry. We were surprisingly ahead in mechanical computers. So that's how we started. What happened after that? After that, we worked our ass off to make it cheaper. So this era, that IT era that we are in, it's happened because we successfully made it cheaper. AI is the same thing. We have crossed the era. Can AI be? Yes, done, sorted. So what are we doing right now? Right now, what we are focusing on, making it cheaper. We have crossed the threshold. At this point in time, if you are, oh, AI can't do this, like, no. Can AI do it cost effectively? That's the only question remaining. Now, without regulation, what will happen if we have no regulation? There is no hope left, simply because we are removing way too many jobs faster than new jobs are being created. And fundamentally, there cannot be a new job. This is one thing that I fundamentally find so perplexing in people. It's like, dude, what can human bring to the table? Like either your body or your mind. Ideally, a combination of these two, which are very hard to replace. But we have learned that instead of, let's say, building a humanoid bot that can do everything a human can do, we can build specialized bots that can do specialized things. For example, how does a car factory was automated? Did we build humanoid bots? No. We built welding robots. We built laser welding robots. We built car chassis handling robots. And voila, you can literally today have a full-fledged, well-built company, except Elon Musk, that is fully automated without any issue. That's today. Toyota has this. Other companies also have it. And other companies that do not have 100% basically automation is simply because humans are cheaper. Let that be very clear. That's the reason why humans are still in the factories. It's a bit cheaper in some scenarios. So fundamentally, we have removed the threshold where it's like, we cannot actually offer a corporation, our economy, anything where it's like, once AI becomes cheap enough, where it's like, dude, I'm taking you in, let's say you are an employee, I'm taking you in, I'm paying for your everything and all that, and this much infrastructure I'm spending just so you can come here and work. That has a X amount of cost. If AI can do even 80% of what you do, but X minus 50%, shut up, lose your job. So no hope. That's the whole point. And what about this and that? There is no this and that, because this and that is coming from here. Silicon now has that. So if we keep removing jobs at the rate, and here's the deal. Remember a few years ago, like creative won't be, I made the thumbnail of this image, this video literally from AI. And few years from now, I can assure you, there won't be any individual who is talking about this. Because right now, if you're talking about this, you're talking out of your ass. We have learned that AI is imaginative, because here's the deal. Imagination is human memory mixed with vid. And it was surprisingly easy to do. So we got that, we sorted it. And it's not very refined and filtered, because again, it's very young. Once we are trained it more refine it, more constrained it will be awesome. So fundamentally, more jobs we are removing from economy is making economy very unstable. And which jobs are menial jobs, right? Like early days, people are like, driving, who wants to drive? It's like, yeah, it's only like what, 10 to 20% of humanity that does that job one way or the other. So it's like, yeah, you remove that because it's menial. You remove doctors because it's menial. Wait a minute, doctors? Every Tom, Dick and Harry is working on that. They're like, what if we engineers? We already have it. So brick by brick, day by day, we're reaching a point where every job is menial. And which job is menial? Any job that can be done with AI. So at this point in time, it's only with the silicon and efficiency, basically electrical energy consumption and the silicon price, that's keeping jobs. And if we stretch it for, let's say, 10 years from now, it's a very dark world that we are going down without a break. So that's why there is a serious need for this. So what is the danger for that if we do not apply brakes? Well, danger is if you keep automating without brakes. If you're like, okay, I want to improve efficiency. What if I yeeted half of the aircraft pilot jobs? Because every plane has to have two, because regulation. It's not desired or needed. It's a regulation. And of course, bad things happen, which again, only happens because of humans. Look into all aircraft crashes. Unless your plane is made by Boeing, most of the time it would be human error that's causing issues. So if we start to automate way too many, what if we automate pizza delivery? What if we automated vehicles? What if we automated rail drivers? What if we automated aircraft? You keep automating, okay? You just keep going YOLO on it, as everybody is doing right now. You reach a point where only few people will remain who will have useful jobs. Now, you have to understand Pareto distribution concept very clearly. Smart people are dumb in this regard. It's like they are smart, they fundamentally cannot comprehend that not everybody is smart. Sometimes if you get the luxury of talking to really competent people, it's like they will talk in a language that is like, what are you saying? You're like, oh, you just do this and you just compound that. It's like it's listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson when he's doing compound mathematics. It's like, he's just like, oh, the mass of this planet is like, wait a minute, mass of a planet is a thing that you can A, remember, B, you can calculate. What the hell? So it's one of those things. So rich people are also many times fall into that category, where it's like they cannot comprehend that people are not rich. So if you take this Pareto distribution, this is from India, and trust me, the same graph applies. It's just the numbers will change, but the ratio and proportion will remain the same. Look into Pareto distribution. Every country, go YOLO on it. So a lot of people in the middle section, yeet. You can yeet way too many of them. How badly? Well, at current trend we are looking at, and this time more and more people are like, okay, wait a minute, this is really getting serious. 80% of man's job, gone, done, sorted. There is no need for it. 80%. And this can happen overnight, meaning one day you will wake up, a company will announce a car that you will not think too much about it, but randomly you will notice, wait a minute, way too many Ola and Ubers are driverless now. One day you will wake up, like, wait a minute, I don't even recall having 2 pilots in aircraft anymore. They announce it, right? You will hear only 1 pilot. And one day you will wake up and notice that, wait a minute, half of the pilot job gone. So brick by brick, day by day, it's like, wabam, you can literally poof out 80% of man's job. Now, the worst part of it is that for short duration, let them be clear, long duration is self-destructs, but in short duration, rich people can extract it. Like many people are talking about, like, oh, as long as making profit, people will blow up the world. Is the same thing. The people who are in top, they can make exponential profit, meaning they will go from richer than God, they can become richer than titans. And yes, God is lower creature, titan is higher creature. So in Greek mythology. So the idea is very simple on this. If let's say you are a owner of an aircraft company, you are already swimming on a money that is like imperceptible to majority of humanity, and you will like, what if I remove the jobs? It's not like you need to do it, but you're like, hey, what if the stockholders and this and all that, what if we yeeted the job? And what if we talk to the government to say that, hey, oil prices are going up, because again, we are stupid and we cannot learn that we have to use seaweed biofuel, but that's a different topic. We cannot control oil prices, but we can reduce the expenditure, running cost, so the flight ticket remains accessible to common public. That's how they're going to sell it to public. And it's like, hey, we have to remove 1 pilot, and of course they will be damn thorough about the first few planes, because they have to make sure the first few never gets through any accident. But after that, they're like, yeah, who cares? And be mindful, we are actually getting a point where aircraft, if it crashes, something horribly bad has happened. It's not a unknown oops anymore. It's like, if oops happened, that either it was made by Boeing or it was like something very minute oops happened. And trust me, every crash reinforces the other one to make sure that never happens. So it can be done. So rich people can milk way too many. Or let's say Domino's or McDonald's, they have a kiosk, right, where you can talk to a person and order your stuff. Every, let's say, store, quote unquote, every store front, they have 4 people. What if they decide, hey, you know what? Instead of 4, what if we replaced 3 of them with a machine that using AI, and it can basically, it's a click device, and because children are raising on iPads, they can understand inherently how to interact with a touchscreen. What if we removed 3 jobs? Now imagine doing that on every food chain. That's a lot. Imagine doing that with every call center job. That's a lot. So brick by brick, you keep piling it up, then you're like, okay, it's a very large section of humanity I'm just eating. So, and in that short duration, it will create exponential profit for private owners. Exponential profit, meaning profits that you cannot even imagine, the profits that will make Apple bitch place. That kind of profit you are talking about. Like, you could press $1 and get $1 million out. That kind of profit will happen. So fundamental, and this will exacerbate the problem. This will stop any effort of applying brakes. Then wealth inequality has an upper limit, meaning if too many people become too disillusioned, too many people become ludicrously rich, and too many in this like 1%er, if the contrast between them becomes too hard to bear, it becomes lethal. It's not something that is, oh, who cares? No, it is lethal at that point in time. Meaning, these rich people, they cannot trust their own bodyguards to be like, you know what, hey, don't poof me. Because bodyguard will be like, yeah, every time I leave this luxury area, I have to live in a slum. What if I poof you, man? What if I poof you? So, wealth inequality, there is a limit before it disintegrates too much and reaches a lethal state for social construction. So society will reach a breaking point. But in short duration, it will be so profitable that what fears makes me so afraid is like, nobody will apply brakes when we can apply brakes. And when we have actually crashed, then it's like, let's apply brakes. It's like, yeah, we crossed long ago. So AI does not need to beat us. This is another aspect that I'm genuinely shocked that people are not understanding. It's like, oh, it cannot beat best human programmers. It does not need to. It just needs to beat every intern. And it can do that right now. And all it has to do is keep getting better, which it is getting right now. And here's the ChatGPT is not decades old. ChatGPT, and right now when I'm recording this video, a new application was announced. Please write the name down below, which is the first AI engineer, a software engineer basically. It can literally, you can just tell it, I need this application. It's going to make a checklist and it's going to do everything from start to finish, from testing to actual construction on itself, and it's keep improving itself. And ChatGPT was barely able to do this, barely able to solve, let's say, GitHub problems and all that. This puppy is 13% compared to barely 1%. Barely 1% to 13%. That happened in less than 10 years. Actually, it's in few months, practically speaking. So we are reaching a point where exponential growth is happening in front of you. So it does not need to be better than us right now. It just has to be good enough. And the most horrifying part, it can work 24 into 7 into 365. When was the last time you worried about internet going down? Like, really think about it. When was the last time? And it's so rare that it happens, it becomes a news. Oh, Facebook was down. Think about it. We are reaching a civilization point where Facebook is down is a news event. Meta is down, it's a news event. Amazon Web Services down, it's a news event. Or somebody broke undersea fiber cable, it's a news event. That's how robust these things are. So it can work 24 into 7 into 365. So someone who is only 80% of you, but can work 24 into 7 into 365 will outclass you in few months. So that's the danger, meaning every Tom, Dick and Harry is creating a basically nightmare of joblessness without even thinking about it. Because in short duration, it will make them filthy rich. Now, why government is not applying brakes? Well, then we come to another human psychology's limitation, competition. Meaning, no nation can stop because it will give their competition, whichever has the. China will say it's USA, USA will say it's China. India will say it's, let's say China, China will say it's India. It's always like that. It's like, that's why I said competition. It does not have to have a name. You just have to be a competition, whichever. Like, again, if China was not a big deal, some other country would have been here. I can guarantee you, if Russia would have been like competent, Russia would have been here, but it's not competent. So China is here right now. So they will always say that it will give them unfair advantage. Now, is that true? Will it give them unfair advantage? Absolutely, factually true. Why? They can insource everybody's work, meaning right now India gets boatload of money from our software sector, meaning we are running literally surprisingly large portion. Like, you will be scared. That kind of portion of worldwide web's infrastructure is running in India, as in like the software people who are working here, like a lot of them. Like, it's not a stretch that it's not even shocking for Indians. So it's like, yeah, so many IT company CEOs are Indian. It's like, bro, we have been working there like early days, like. So why can we do that? Cheap labor. Okay, cool, awesome. What about AI? That's free labor. That almost reaches free labor territory because electricity is relatively cheap, and silicon and all that. Once it can work 24 into 7, it will keep paying itself back, meaning ROI, return on investment, could be very ludicrously, idiotically quick. Meaning, you deploy that puppy, it can give you money back in, let's say, 1 year. 2 years. Right now, that's happening with NVIDIA's current generation. That's why NVIDIA is becoming so rich. It's like companies are buying it, they're selling it, and they're like, bro, we sorted, bro. We done. We good. ROI done. So it's free labor, and you can't compete with that. And again, there is no human violation, there is no human exploitation. You do not have to worry about it. It's like, oh, there's 10,000 AI variants that are doing the programming. Who cares? It's not like some poor people. I used to be that one in gaming industry. That's where I was. It's like crunching like 24 into 7, trying our best to complete the game in the deadline. AI is like, who cares? So it gives you free labor without penalty. That is an unfair advantage which you cannot compete or stop. It's not even a raw goods where you can be like, hey, if you're selling cheap steel, that is, you are building at a loss and selling just so we can kill our local industry. Yeah, we can stop it. Yeah, AI does not work that way. So that's another aspect is government. If they want to scare the public, they can say it will bypass bureaucracy. For example, even in China, even in a raw dictatorship, there is certain limitations, certain paperwork have to be done. Now imagine a country, let's say whatever country, take Taiwan, let's say, and they just realize, okay, let's go all AI. And what happens if government becomes AI? They can turbocharge the bureaucracy. All the paperwork, all those things can be sorted before we even realize that it is being sorted, and it can come up with the issues, and it can resolving that issue. And in few years, that country that is running on AI-based bureaucracy reduction stages would be exponential. It would be horrifying, the amount of progress that can be made. We humans cannot progress beyond a certain point simply because of bureaucracy. Right now, you cannot get healthcare in America simply because of bureaucracy. It's not like law of physics, or it's not technology. Heck, in USA, you have to spend around 50,000 rupees. I'm not going to convert it in dollars. It's huge. It's like $600-700 you have to spend just so a dentist can look in your mouth. In India, if you have that kind of money, yeah, I have zirconium teeth. That took less than that. So fundamentally, bureaucracy. It's not like evil corporations. It's just bureaucracy. They have like, what if we have this layer? What if we have this layer? And then you'll understand why we have the statement of road to hell is paved by good intention. So imagine a country that can bypass its bureaucracy legally. It would be scary how fast they can move. It would be, you will spend 5-6 years before getting a discussion, and they will be like, bro, we sorted it out. This was the issue. This is how we sorted it out. We're done. So it is a very, very unstoppable force if if your opponent gets it. So all this protest that is happening, I act on AIs right now, yeah, no, the competition makes it impossible. And the most scary part of it, this is similar to how nukes happened, meaning United States got it. Now, Soviet Union was not really good at anything, but they were god level when it comes to spy agencies. They did spy and they got it. So once they got it, now that created a paradox. It's like, okay, now we have two people. It's not like one god emperor. You have two god emperors. That is like, whoa, we cannot have that. So UK worked their ass off, France worked their ass off to get the stuff. Then somebody was like, okay, what if we gave North Korea this? Why? But like, okay, they happened. But here's the deal. All the Western powers, they work their ass off so India does not get nukes. Now, as an Indian, I want nukes, but here's the deal. Their statement was, if India gets nuke, Pakistan will work their ass off to get nukes no matter what. And if we stop India, only that is the guarantee that we can give to the world that Pakistan will not get nukes. So unfortunately, we had to pay the price of blood. Yes, blood. We had to pay the price of blood, but we were determined, so we got it. And exactly the same thing happened. Pakistan also got it. And China also has it now. I'm just waiting for Sri Lanka to get it. So you see the point. It's like, if you have it, I have to have it. So it became an arms race. Same thing with AI. So fundamentally, you can see, you see the contrast. It's like, it's a very easy to say to other people. Like, it's very easy for Americans to say, hey, you should not have AI because it will hurt your career. Dude, you already have it. It's like, yeah, you have 5,000 of it. And I only have, like, how much I have? 164. Same thing. So that's why competition makes regulation, national regulation, impossible. It has to be international regulation. Now, let's understand the scientific reason why it's impossibility. Well, it's simply because it's not a form stuff, meaning there's nothing that is AI. So it's formless. What does that mean? That simply means when you are talking about boom devices, like nuclear boom devices, they are enriched uranium. That was the core. You can track it. Like, okay, this is the stuff. Where is the mine for it? Where we can distill it? And that's how other governments figured out, like, who in the Middle East was trying to get actual boom devices. Because again, you can figure out the centrifuge. If it's designed for 5% enrichment, you can easily say this is only a nuclear fuel supply for nuclear power plants. If it's like, hey, this puppy can enrich till 80%. It's like, bro, it's a boom device. So you can boom it. That's the whole point of Top Gun Maverick. So you see, like, because it was a physical thing, there was some probability that you could do something in order to stop it, track it, contain it, and boom it out of existence. Yeah, you can't do that with AI. Fundamentally, you cannot. And I find it very scary that this was shown in the Terminator movie, is that it's like a torrent network. Now think about it this way. How many people with what kind of money poured their ass into in order to stop torrent networks? All of them. All of them spent boatload of money, multiple countries, and is still going on. That's what we call formless. Once something becomes formless, it cannot be taken away. It cannot be destroyed. So it is flat out, law of physics level, unstoppable. And here's the, where can you do this quote unquote compute? In Terminator, there was a statement that every chip became a AI heaven. Can it be? Actually, yes, even in 1990s, but it wouldn't be that powerful. Nowadays, every SoC, every basic bitch phone that we have has a neural processing unit. It's specifically designed to run neural networks. And be mindful, even the dumb system that is not made for neural processing is so brutally powerful, it can just crunch its way through it. That's on every pocket. And give or take, there is like around 3 billion smartphones. So yeah, that's more than enough horsepower there. And this is another aspect of it. Humans are really cowardly when it comes to the first. It's like, first to try, it's like there will only be few people. But once you do it, every Tom, Dick and Harry can crack it after that. It's like, we are really slow at the first step. The moment first step happens, boom. Like the first boom took a lot of effort. The first boom took a lot of money. The second boom, not so much. Third boom, yeah, who cares? Fourth boom, hey, dude, North Korea has it. So it's one of those things where it's like, once you show the world, once ChatGPT was shown to the world, yeah, that first event was closed. It's like, it can be done. That means people are working on it. They know for a fact that it will be done. And a lot of open source data already exists right now. So there is real data, real oomph, real secret sauce, so to say, in order to how to make it. Heck, so if somebody is starting from scratch, they may be able to make even better variants compared to the last one, because a lot of people are pouring a lot of information, publicly available information, where it's like, okay, we designed it this way. This was the pros of it. This was the con of it. So again, engineering say, you build it first, you build it better. So first one is already sorted, so better part can be done. And companies can run it internally in stealth. How would you stop it? Like, unless you go full god emperor dictatorship, or like on a Dune level, you can't stop it. How would you stop Amazon from running a very god level AI? All you will see from outside is like, hey, this company has 10,000 employee. Okay, 10 years later it still has only 10,000 employee, and only difference is their output would grow exponentially. So how would you stop it? Would you block a company from like, hey, you're doing too good? You can't stop it. So, and if you're like, hey, there is a law, you cannot have this, the companies will be like, bye. MNCs have no national heritage. They can just yeet from, oh, you are blocking it, I will go to Dubai. So fundamentally speaking, it cannot be stopped, because again, internally stealth, every processor has it. More than enough people know it. It's not even nuclear physics anymore. It's basic bitch project. So it can't be done. Now, people who are in power, they have an issue. Most of them nowadays have broken family unit. Without family unit, you do not have a comprehension of long time. Meaning, what happens after your death? It's not a thought you will think about if you do not have a good family structure. Now, most people who are in this position of power, they have broken families. And once you have that, they will not stop. They do not care about it. They're like, I don't care. Like people who are buying property after property, they have more than enough property for one lifetime, but they're just buying because their future is trimmed, quote unquote. It cannot be seen anymore, and they do not give a damn about it. So they're like, what if in this lifetime, instead of being a billionaire, I became a trillionaire? It's like, you cannot spend that much money. You are just making everybody else's life miserable. But again, they are coming from broken families, so that's their default behavior. And way too many people who are in position of power are dealing with that. So bad things. On top of that, government is run by so out of touch old people. That's scary to me. It's like, yeah, let's not even talk about this. I'm not joking. There is laws based on governing us right now. It's written based on Telegram. Like, yeah. So something that slow, something that useless is the core of our. Yeah, we did. So government is fundamentally incompetent. Like, they are reaching a point of smartphone, let alone AI. So that's there. People who are in power, they genuinely do not care anymore, and you can notice it in their eyes. It's scary. And unless the whole world agrees willingly, because again, that's the sole reason we do not have 200 countries with nuclear armed power, like people willingly came to a census and agreed to it. Yeah, that it's not going to happen unless the whole world willingly, knowingly agrees to it. It's not going to be stopped. So if we do not apply the brakes, it's not going to happen. And here's another bitter aspect of it. Again, same logic as I have nukes, but you should not have it. As the same statement. Right now, if American government talks to Indian government, is like, bro, you should really regulate the AIs. We're like, bitch, please. You have it. Now you are saying that we should not build it. It's like, what the hell? So it's one of the same thing. Same, we had this discussion, dilemma during the nuclear age, and we are reaching the same point. And this time it's far more harder. This time they cannot just like, what if we poof your few scientists and yeah. This time you have to poof so many people that it would be all out open war with a nuclear powered nation. So yeah, good luck with that. So fundamentally, that's what makes it impossible. People in power do not care. Government, they are so incompetent. It's scary. And again, it's unless everybody agrees, nobody can agree. So this, fundamentally speaking, we are reaching an unknown territory. First time in human existence, we are playing God. That will like technically second time. But first time when we were playing God with energy. Equal to mc square is the energy of the sun. Like, power of a sun in a palm of my human hand. So that's power. We got that. We sorted that. We came through that nuclear era okay-ish. And this is the time when we are doing the same thing, power of a god in a palm of a human hand, and we are creating consciousness or soul. And the reason I'm using word soul is for small it fit there. So it's like we are creating something that is fundamentally putting us on a level of a god. Like we are literally creating entity that can think through. So this is a very serious level of power play. Like this is, and again, I keep talking about, like, if you look human as individual, we are very weak and fragile. But remember this, a man can die, mankind cannot. So we are at that position where we are playing on a power level that is like, whoa. And fundamentally, the reason why I'm so scared of it is like we are not in a good place right now. When World War II happened, world was in a good place. What does the good place mean? Meaning wealth inequality was not too bonkers. So when family unit was intact, people got together. They got, again, it does not matter which side is right, which side is wrong. It's just winner. You have to have winners and loser, otherwise everybody will become a loser. So fundamentally, that was a good time to have World War II. Right now, there is some discussion online, and I have seen some, why is people talking about this? It's like they genuinely do not know what bad things can happen to unite people anymore. Like right now, let's say Israel attack happens. Half of people will cry, half will laugh. This should happen. This is half and half. And here's the that half and half in every country. It's nowhere where it's like, no, 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 this shouldn't. No, no, no. It's like half and half. Now here's the Israel goes boom, boom on Palestine. Same thing. Half are crying, half are laughing. There is no point where there is no cohesion in any moral structure, any reactionary body. There is no binding agent in humanity anymore. Humans are not bounded anymore. Basically, this is a human body, and every cell is detaching from every other cell. It's fundamentally incoherent. So basically, we are going from a laser light to blah, 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 blah. And the two things that are amplifying it is wealth inequality and dying family. I had the luxury to go to an expo in Mumbai, and Mumbai, let me be very clear, it is so contrasty place that you will be shocked. I was seeing apartment buildings that were like so expensive, Americans would be like, what? Yeah, I'm converting in dollars, then also it's expensive in Mumbai. And there was slums next to it. So the contrast, I could see this exact scenario I saw. Actually, in my case was this was even bigger and this was even more crappier, but it was real. So if you have too much of this, it makes people unstable. It removes the coherence. So fundamentally, and here's the reason why we need to have a cement in our structure is because, again, without it, we cannot see the future. Without we cannot hope for the future. That cement was family unit. That is destroyed. You need proof? Go to the family court near you. Anywhere. There is 200 countries on this planet. I can dare you to do this in 150 countries. And the result, well, you will stop asking. So after that, just go. I dare you. Go. So we are reaching a point where we no longer have cohesion. Basically, our cell has gotten a disease. We call it cancer. So it's going from bottom to up. So there is no cohesion. And inequality is amplifying all the bad effects. So we are fragile, we are vulnerable, and we are playing God. Yeah, time-wise, it's not good. It's not good. By the way, there was a saying in Pakistan back in the old days. It's like, घास खा लेंगे लेकिन परमाणु बम बनाएंगे. It's like basically, even if you have to eat grass, we will do so as long as we get nukes. They did it. They're literally in that physical place right now. So what can we expect? Well, life has a very narrow path right now. That golden path of Dune. That oblivion is one side and life on the other side, and we have to be very careful. If we oops in any direction, oops will happen. So this is an unknown terrain. I do not genuinely have any answer or any imagination that can even show it. This is like every time it's like this job is like, wait a minute, it's done by human brain. We just gave brains to this. This can also do it. Like, let me be very clear, not right now does not mean never. It simply means 5 years from now. So fundamentally, it's a scary time to be alive. So this was my presentation on AI regulation. Is it a dream or delusion? You tell me. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.